We are looking at live pictures here tracking these Juneteenth celebrations across America right now. This state holiday marking the end of slavery and implementation of President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, a history that resonates now amidst these protests of police killings of black men and a wider reckoning over how today's systemic racism grew out of the history of the Jim Crow South and the slave code. This holiday did not begin with the U.S. government. Black ministers and leaders in Texas advanced it back in the 1800s. It's just one more reminder of how many of these causes do begin on the ground and in the culture, not up with the government or out in Washington, D.C. Now, in that spirit, we want to bring in two special guests right now. MSNBC correspondent Trymaine Lee, a seasoned journalist on these issues, winning an Emmy for covering Chicago gun violence and a Pulitzer for reporting on Hurricane Katrina. He reports and analyzes these issues for MSNBC and hosts the NBC podcast Into America. And it's covered many of these issues. I'm also joined by, as it happens, another Lee. Grammy-nominated artist Swae Lee, fresh off a Billboard #1 hit, a whole bunch of them, with Drake and Travis Scott, collaborations with Beyonce. Many people, if not those watching, maybe your children, know the hit Sunflower with Post Malone that went platinum 9 times. Lee's also known as one half of the world-famous hip-hop duo Rae Sremmurd, with hit videos shot around the world, drawing billions of streams. And I want to mention, Lee, you came up here in Texas and California, and we have some video there where you recently joined the protests in L.A. So the two Lees, Swae Lee and Trymaine Lee, thanks to both of you for being here tonight, you guys.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me. Real. Lee gang, what's up, my boy?
Yeah, let's get it.
My boy said 100.
I love it.
Real 100. Yeah.
So I guess we'll start here. And Swae, I want to get with a lot of your work and your new music as well. But Trymaine, being a reporter on these issues, we're talking about living history and Black history, and there's a context. I'm curious, your analysis is something we've seen reported on many times, the issues of the misunderstanding of Black history in America. I'm reading from a report that up in Connecticut, they have a textbook for fourth graders that falsely said, well, slaves were, quote, treated like family. In Texas, there was a geography book that said enslaved Africans were basically, quote, workers. Trymaine, how is that important today?
Well, first of all, there are no mistakes in any of this, right? We didn't just fall from the sky with the weight of society on us. This is all intentional. There are no accidents. And going back even after Reconstruction, after the Civil War, there was that 12-year period where Black folks made some gains. Soon after that, what they started to do is, in the South, the Daughters of the Confederacy, taking controls of the schools and the textbooks first to make sure they would always be the heroes in the situation. And so there's a straight through line from then until now, right? So everything seems so old and black and white, but the struggles for freedom and equality, but also the pushback has always been the same. Right? It's not that long ago. So we're dealing with the same things. And there's no surprise when people are so ignorant to, like, why are the schools in certain communities, less funded? Why are more young Black and brown men being locked up? It's all the same. Nothing really has changed, including the fight against the stuff, but also the fight for those who want to keep that stuff in line.
Mm-hmm. And Swae Lee, I'm a big fan of your music, and I know you hail from California and Texas. Texas has a Juneteenth, of course, as a state holiday, but I'm just curious how you feel. What does it mean to you? And we saw you marching there. Why was that important to you?
Yeah, happy Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? I was actually raised in Mississippi. I was born in California, but I was raised in Mississippi. So we even celebrated Juneteenth heavy out there. They used to have a festival, huge festival in the park. The whole city would come out. You know what I'm saying? Even as a young kid, I would perform in that. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like, back then, I didn't know the total meaning of Juneteenth. I thought it was a fun day in the park. As I got older, I started learning what it meant. So it meant even more to me. And I joined the protest because I'm one for that. Even when I grew up in Mississippi, you look around, you see injustice all the time. You see unfair treatment all the time in the slightest ways and sometimes in major ways. You know what I'm saying? And it's really obvious. It's something that it stirred the people up. You know what I'm saying? It stirred the people up. Like, we got to come out of our homes now. We got to hit the streets. We got to take it to the streets. We got to let our message be heard. And I feel like right now it's a revolution going on. If you look outside, like, it's a revolution going on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's bigger than black and white. It's not black versus white. It's like equality, the whole Black Lives Matter movement. It's not saying like black lives are just a superior race. We're just saying, like, don't forget about us. You know what I'm saying? Because of what's been happening. You know, so the proof is right there. You look at these videos that you see online, you see knees on people being murdered, beaten senselessly, shot, lives taken. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's people are fed up with it. Even white people fed up with it. Mexican people fed up with it. You see protests in Australia. People fed up that far, so many miles away, fed up with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and the message is not far-fetched that we're trying to reach. It's actually a simple fix. Treat everybody fairly. Treat everybody as a person, humanely. You know what I'm saying? Don't locking people up. You got a man in handcuffs on the street, face down, facing the street, with a knee to his back. You know what I'm saying? 5 officers on him. Like, this is not a gorilla. This is not a threat. Like, this person not finna knock a car over. You feel me? With handcuffs on his. You're not finna kill somebody with handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's basically simple things that we can fix and touch on that can go such a long way. And people, you know what I'm saying? People go back to normal. You know what I'm saying? People go back to living their lives. We just want, you know what I'm saying? People just want to, don't forget about the Black lives. They matter too. That's what people are trying to say. Don't forget about the Black lives matter. You know what I'm saying? Well, every human life is cherished, but don't forget about us either. That's what people are trying to say.
Yes. And Swae Lee, you've been all over the world. You mentioned what you felt about this holiday growing up. Do you feel now like this time, this protest, you being out in the streets with people, this time feels different?
I had to hit the streets. Yes, I feel like this is, you know, I wasn't back there 40, 50 years ago when they protested, but I feel like the people that are participating in the protest, it's an international thing. It's not just one city. It's not just the South. It's not just California. Now it's the message has, people just, like I said, they fed up. It's reached everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's a message. Like, I hit the streets. When I tell you these people are superheroes in the streets right now, like I was in there firsthand. I was out there firsthand. I was in those streets. Like, it was like Grand Theft Auto, bro. Like, as soon as I hopped out the car, I hopped out the truck. You know what I'm saying? I met up with a group of my people that were out there protesting. And as soon as you hop out the truck, you see men on the roof, grenade launchers, you know what I'm saying? Not grenade launchers, my bad, tear gas, but it looked like grenade launchers, you feel me?
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? People running fire, you know what I'm saying? People shooting bullets at people dodging bullets, people laid out in the streets, you know what I'm saying? It's real out there, like, and like the media can only capture so much. The media can't capture the emotion that you feel when you're out in the streets. Like, you can feel everybody as one. It was just crazy. Like, you feel so uplifted. Like, when I was in the streets, I felt uplifted. Like, as soon as I hopped out of the car, people started, even when they recognized me, like, yo, Swae, I had about 400 people just marching with me, like, feeling like they my gang, like, you know what I'm saying? Black people, white people, Spanish people, Asian people, everybody was out there, like, stay with Swae, stay with Swae. It was such an uplifting feeling, like, but we all just want the same thing, man, equality. And that's like, do the right thing. Do the righteous thing. You feel me?
I'm running over my time limit to pass the next show, but I love you saying that notion of Juneteenth, of uplift. And we got the two Lees here. Swae Lee, you hooking up with Tremaine Lee. I just hope Slim Jim doesn't get jealous. You know what I'm saying?
Slim Jimmy, my boy.
Yo, I'm ready. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Let's go. Where we going, man? Let's go.
Please. Me and Slim Jimmy, man, I'm on the way too. Shrimp 4 on the way too, man. Reality check. You know what I'm saying?
Shrimp 4, Reality Check's the new song. And I'm sorry I ran late on the hour, but it was important. Thanks to both of you.
We got time.
That does it for the beat tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.